The following is a Podcast One Minnesota production.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
If it's made in Minnesota, who's making it and how?
Yeah, you got that right.
It's the Makers of Minnesota, focusing on the products and services uniquely made in Minnesota, and conversations with the makers, entrepreneurs, and innovators in Minnesota about how they conceived of their products and how they brought them to market. With Stephanie Hansen, it's the Makers of Minnesota.
Hi, you've reached Stephanie Hansen, and this is the Makers of Minnesota. Reached like you're somehow calling me or something. You're Ma Bell on the other line. I am here on episode 64 of the Makers of Minnesota, and if you listen every week, thank you for listening. You can also suggest makers if you'd like us to reach out on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. If you're brand new to the program, thank you for joining us. What we do here is we talk to makers in the state of Minnesota doing cool things. I happen to love food, so we end up talking to a lot of food makers, but also people that are designing apps or have cool services are all welcome to the program. We're just trying to shine the light on some local entrepreneurs. And today we have Darling Pickle Dips, and this is a duo. We have Britt and Sarah. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
I think I first ran across you on Instagram. You have a cute, sassy Instagram feed that I thought was really reflective of your product. And I was like, Darling Pickle Dips. Those are cute. How did you guys start this, and how long have you been working on it?
Well, we had been intending on doing something together for years, and we just kept coming back to food.
So years, like, were you friends in high school or?
Friends since the freshman grade. We met in the lunchroom of 9th grade.
Do you remember when you met?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't remember the day. No.
Was it, so that's junior high or was that high school?
High school, first year
High
of high
school. Okay. So you guys became friends, and did you always bond over food?
Yeah, a lot. Before we both had kids, I mean, we would very normally pull out all the stops and do several course dinners and put tons of time into making and
looking into new recipes and trying new things for each other and hosting at each other's houses. Yeah.
All right. So over time, you decide that you want to put together a food company. Who started with the pickle dip, or did you come up with it together?
It was just a recipe we found, and pickles are kind of a Minnesota thing. They have a following at, with Gedney and just...
Yep,
just
Gedney is a local pickler.
Fan base here in Minnesota for pickles, and so we started making just one of our flavors and riffing off of that. And, just that at first, but then we thought, what about pickle dips? It's an unrepresented category in retail. And then we just riffed off that original recipe and came up with the rest of the line.
Right, I'm going to have you pull the microphone just a little bit closer. Okay, so pickles, you're acting like this is something that everybody thinks about. They're like, oh, yeah, pickles and dip.
Pickle dip.
Had you eaten this as a kid? Or so your dip is based in cream cheese.
And white beans.
White beans.
Yep.
So you had you eaten this as a kid, or what made you add white beans to pickle dip? Because the traditional pickle dip that my radio partner makes, cream cheese, spread on a pastrami, and then pickles in the middle rolled up and sliced into wheels.
Yeah, we kind of added the bean part after we were forming the company and the recipes. We thought it gave it much more of like a dippable texture and a little bit less rich. Maybe you could eat more of it and just had a little more use for it.
Yeah, because cream cheese can obviously get a little overwhelming.
Yes.
Don't we hate it when we dip things in and our chip breaks?
Yes, we do hate that because then we have to double dip.
Right.
Exactly. Fish that little
crumb out of there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so you guys, how much recipe testing went on?
A lot. A lot of reformulation.
I don't know, 6 months maybe?
Yeah, I would say.
Solid of just trying different ratios of different ingredients.
And you knew you wanted to do dip?
Well, we knew we wanted to do food, and we kind of love snacking and eating that way. And now we have young kids, and those, 4-course dinners aren't happening as often. We're doing more like appetizer parties and quick, ready-to-eat things.
Sure.
So we kind of just, came to that snacking category that we'd been doing a lot more of.
Do you both have day jobs, or do you stay at home with your kids? Or
Yeah,
what's
we
your
both have
other
day
life when
jobs.
you're not having pickles? So this is interesting to me because you have children.
Yes.
You have a day job. Your spouses, I'm assuming, and now you have this company that you're trying to squeeze into your already so busy lives. Do you ever feel like, oh my gosh, this is way more work than I thought?
I don't think we were
Not. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
no question.
absolutely. But we kind of knew that going into it, and we want to do it so bad that we are happy to be this crazy busy right now. But it's a lot to manage for sure.
So you formulate the dip, and then right away did you think, oh, we're going to go to farmers markets with this? Because that's where it feels like you're at Mill City, at Northeast.
Yep, and then Fulton.
And Fulton. So 3 farmers markets for 2 women, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think our intention was always to get to a retail level, but to invest time into building the brand locally first. We have so many local great retail partners here, but we really felt like getting into the community and creating that pull possibly for the product was a way that we wanted to start, just by having that presence there.
And getting their feedback too. Just
Right.
like this is a brand new product and we're getting into people's mouths and we want to hear what they think and any kind of feedback where we could improve or just get a feel for what, the consumers
And just
like
understand production, kitchen work. We had never done any. I mean, we're making it ourselves every single week, so
Getting
we wanted
used
to
to
dip
that.
our toes a little bit where we weren't, like backfilling several hundred, a large retail base. So we were really trying to ease our way into it and get a hold of all of these different new factors of our lives.
Yeah.
It seems like, too, a lot of people that start out at the farmer's market level, that's almost like a beta test for them, just
Exactly.
to talk to people and
Yes.
see who comes back for the product week after week and how they use it, how they like it. You guys have a really cute social media Instagram presence. You do a lot that I think is just really reflective of your brand being kind of fun and easy. Who does the social media and how do you parcel that out?
That's Britt.
Yeah, we do it ourselves. We would love to become professionals on social media and get really fancy looking photos and stuff, but we're just real we're just
Startup
Yeah,
style.
startup.
Low-key?
We're wearing
Yes.
many hats right now, and
Do you do, besides Instagram, do you also do Facebook and Twitter? How about Pinterest?
Facebook.
Facebook? Okay,
Facebook.
no Twitter?
No.
I don't know how does Twitter work?
It's real easy.
For a food, do a lot of
140
food companies.
characters.
Yeah.
No, that hasn't been as much of a social outlet that we haven't looked into it as much. Maybe we should.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I know, it is
because you can
easy.
just propagate your Facebook posts or your Instagram posts, and now you're
all
starting to build
goes
on
to
a
the-
third feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend that you set it up. Just
Okay.
People always think Twitter's going away, but I don't think so. I
Okay.
think from a news standpoint,
Well, right.
and your consumer at farmers market is a pretty educated, interested in their communities, interested in their ingredients of their food, and those people are looking at Twitter for the news. So that might be something to consider if you
Sure.
can set it up. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So you're in the car driving around with your kids, taking them to, and then you're like, oh, I got to do an Instagram post. Is that how that works?
Well, more or less.
Who helped you with your packaging?
We hired a designer, a freelance designer, to work on our branding.
And how did you know how you needed to package it to get into, say, like a Kowalski's?
Well,
It just worked out that our packaging, we had gone through a few different iterations, but always in that plastic tub.
Yep, it's a
That it's
smaller,
in.
like plastic
a
container.
7-ounce,
Yep.
plastic.
Yeah. So I guess we had made a switch early on when we were still only in farmers markets to the package that we're currently using, and it hasn't posed any problems. Down the line, will that change once we're in a co-packer? Probably, but for now, it meets any guidelines that the retailers have. It's tamper-proof.
Are you thinking about going to a co-packer? And at that point, help the listener understand what that means, because that means you don't necessarily make the product yourself. Someone makes it for you based on your specifications, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we would love to do that at some point and then have Britt and I be able to focus more on the sales and marketing piece that we love. So yeah, it's a company that would make your product for you. You give them the ingredients and the specifications, and you just have to meet some minimums with them. So that's the piece that we're not quite at that level yet. But
What is the minimums that they ask you to have? Is it number of items?
Yeah, it's like a
certain-
pound, a
yeah.
certain weight.
Okay.
So they'll say our minimum is 800 pounds or 500 pounds per flavor, whatever that is.
Yep. And you guys have 4 SKUs.
yes,
We have 4 SKUs.
Is it a big deal to decide to add one, or do you ever think about taking one away? 4 seems like a lot for a company that's pretty small.
Yeah, we started with 4 and we've just have had the same number, but we're just getting the feedback still in the sales numbers of this first year. I mean, our first sales were in May, so
Yep.
we're still learning like maybe what the trends are within our flavors, and we would consider switching one or going down one, but for now, they've really been kind of
Retail
all
sales,
playing.
Yeah, they're all really neck and neck. Our original flavor is the best seller, but not by much. The other 3 flavors are really neck and neck.
Tell me all your flavors.
So we've got original dill, then we've got our original with white cheddar and mustard. Then we have spicy pickle, where we use pickled hot cherry peppers and kosher dill pickles. And then we have fiery jalapeno and roasted tomato, which is pickled jalapenos and a roasted tomato salsa.
Outside of just dipping with vegetables or crackers, how else do you recommend that people use these darling pickle dips?
Yeah, well, we really started intending for it to be a dip, and we just, through our own, throwing together quick meals at home, found all these other uses for it. So you can use it like a condiment, put it on sandwiches, burgers, brats, toss it with tuna salad or chicken salad. A couple of the flavors are really good. Fold it into scrambled eggs.
Yum.
Deviled eggs. We've been, putting them on dumpling and strands, dumpling noodles we've used with them. So we've just really been exploring ourselves still too, but we found it really easy to incorporate, to take a lot of steps out of meal prep, which is what we look for now.
Are your kids
always on the go?
How old are your kids?
3 and 5, both.
Okay, so they're still eating whatever you put in front of them for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most
They're
part.
not to the point where they're like, not one more ounce of pickle dip.
Not quite yet.
No, not yet.
But I'm sure it's coming. Are both your kids the same?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
how
both have
funny.
a 3 and we both have a 5. Yes.
Yeah, so that worked out.
We've done a lot on the parallel.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much are the dips?
They are $6.99.
Okay, do you guys ever fight?
We don't.
No.
Never
No.
once?
Not fight, no.
No.
Do you ever just wake up and think, oh, if I have to see her face today, I just can't deal with it?
No.
Okay.
I say I can't wait till I can see her face.
No. We
How-
get sad if we haven't talked in a few hours.
Right.
Like, what were you doing
Why
from
didn't
9
you
to
call
noon
me?
today?
Yeah.
Didn't even know where you were.
How about the farmers markets? Because that is so early.
Yeah.
It means you don't have a day off because you're doing, I'm assuming, Saturdays and Sundays every weekend throughout the summer. Are you just, at this point, are you exhausted? Are you glad that they're over for the most part?
Well, they're not over. We
Are
do a
you
winter
still-
market.
You're doing winter
Yeah.
markets
Yeah.
too.
We're just doing
Okay.
one winter market through Mill City.
Yep.
And we've reallocated our hours. We have found that demoing in the stores is so important to drive the sample of the product. So we've really reallocated any time that we were spending doing a weekly farmers market to doing demos in our stores that
And-
we're in right now.
And can I ask, how does that work? So you want to do demos at a store.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you have to pay to get into the store to do a demo, or do they invite you? How does that work?
Yeah, they've just been really open. We're still learning all of the nuances here too, or just the etiquette. But yeah, they've just been open when we say we'd love to come demo our product, and we'll have somebody there. One of us will be there from this time to this time, and they've just been really open to giving us a table and letting us sample to their customers.
Do you have a sense of, if you sample someone, what the percentage of purchase is?
Gosh.
Percentage, we more are thinking, I guess, the amount of hours and how many units we've sold. But I don't know. What do you think?
Feels like it drives so many more sales. I would say we have
75% of
50
people
to
that sample
Yeah.
buy
That's a
it,
high.
maybe?
That's a high number.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. It's
And-
a fun category, snacking. We're fortunate in that sense where a lot of people are going to the grocery store because they're happening to pick up something that they're going to use to have people over with for the night or something
Yeah.
like
Right.
that. So the times of day that we're in the store, and with it being football season and just barbecue season in the summer, our product really lends itself well to those kinds of occasions. So
Right. And Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Good football
everyone's
party
excited.
food.
Are you
Yeah.
doing anything special for that?
Not yet.
no, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, but maybe thinking
Maybe,
about it,
yeah.
it sounds like
Yeah.
I saw this really adorable deviled egg that they made the egg and then they put the little lines on it like a
football? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that would be a cute thing to have at a party. So maybe
Yes.
you can
Yes.
do something with that.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Are there are there other people in the local marketplace that you see at markets that you admire? That you just like, wow, they really have it all going on, and if we could do it like them, we'd be.
At the farmers market, we were with a lot of other people, probably our size or a little bit larger,
Mhm.
and we just admire how strong the local food community here is, generally speaking. It's been really fun. We've had a few people kind of prime us or give us some tips here
Yep.
and there that
Yeah.
are kind of outgrown the farmers
Yeah.
market scene, but we're just so thankful for how strong that community is, that we live in a city where it's not out of the question for a local food startup to go from farmers market to national distribution.
Right.
So
yeah, we've had a lot of great people that have kind of mentored us a little bit or just at least let us pick their brains and really helped.
Is there a point where you think, okay, one of us will have to leave our jobs and do this full time, or will you both do it together and make the leap? I think we talked about kind of going from a hobby business to, and some people are comfortable at the hobby size, and if it grows incrementally, they're fine with that. Others are like, I think of Maddie and Maze. He was like, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm putting everything I have into it, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. Where would you say you guys fall on that spectrum?
Yeah, I think right now our retail distribution level is manageable for the moment, and we're really taking it as it comes. For us, it's a matter of what group of stores, maybe locally or regionally, do we want to pitch, and how close does that get us to the next step of, stepping away and getting into a co-packer, say, where maybe both of us could do this full time.
Yep.
But yeah, we're just trying to make strategic decisions right now and making those kinds of decisions once we have a clearer view of what the future looks like for us.
And you've only been doing it since, what, a year?
Yeah, our first
7
sales were in
months?
May.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of formed it at the very beginning of the year.
So I would say, based on 7 months, that you both seem real relaxed, that you're still having fun.
A lot of people say that.
Do they?
Like you guys still have your smile on your face.
Yeah, and you seem really relaxed about it. Like you're still enjoying the experience and the journey, and it's, other people, once they're 5 years in, sometimes they're like, wow, the rubber's really got to meet the road here to decide if I'm going to stay in it or not. How do you learn about business things? Like, what do you do in your day jobs?
We're both in sales.
Okay, so sales is a natural territory for you.
Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts? Do you read magazines? How do you get inspiration?
Yes.
I think all those things, we subscribe to different, all the local business journals and publications, and then follow a ton of people on social media, of course, and just try to keep up to speed with the food community.
Does anyone stand out there that you think like, wow, they're really doing a great job? Or every time they post something, you're like, oh, it's so good.
There's just so many
Yeah,
good companies out there, that products that we love, that we've tried.
I know.
No one off the top of your head?
Yeah.
All right. When you go to the farmer's market, what is the pitch for the dips? Like, what do you say to people? When I walk by your booth, what are you going to say to me?
Are you Pickle Dip curious, Stephanie?
And I'm going to say, yes, I am Pickle Dip curious. Do people just stare at you when you say that?
After we had so many, we don't say, we started saying that, but we had all these looks like, what is this?
What is Pickle Dip? Do
We
you dip
started
pickles
kind of
in it?
using that on our chalkboards and asking people if they're Pickle Dip curious. Because a lot of people think it's a dip to dip your pickles in. Like that,
Yeah,
that should be a thing.
Completely, it should be a thing.
Do pickles need a dip?
I don't know. Yeah.
Some might.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that with our dip, too.
So we just say that they're cream cheese and white bean based, and then we blend in kosher dill pickles or pickled hot peppers, depending on the flavor. And then we kind of give other uses besides a dip with salty snacks or veggies.
So when you sample, do you sample veggies and salty snacks, or do you do
salty
pinwheels,
snacks.
or what's your...
No, we've just been demoing it with salty snacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're at the farmer's market and someone demos it, I mean, it's not a huge commitment. It's $6.99, right? So do most people buy one?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it kind of depends on the market.
Markets are just so good for grazing also.
Mhm.
So, a lot of people are intrigued and like the product, but maybe they're not buying it today. But we definitely have a local good group of regulars that comes back and
Right.
finds us week after week that buy 2,
They're
4,
super pickle
8.
curious.
Yes,
They just
Yes.
keep coming to satisfy their curiosity about pickles. I love
Trying
it.
a new flavor.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here. One other question before we wrap up here. How do you know, when you've arrived? Do you have a financial goal? Do you have a P&L? Do you wake up and think, oh, this is where we need to get to? What drives you to get there?
I think it's that, but right now we just want our product to be as consistent as possible. We're trying different things with freezing it and thawing it, just trying different R&D things on our own, sensory evaluations, tweaking recipes still.
It's hard to freeze cream cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, it has some textural problems
Yeah.
once it thaws.
Yeah.
But, we're just really trying to nail down the product performance piece of it right now before we're really focusing on, we just want to be completely confident that what anyone buys from the store from us is right at that quality level that we know it is, and
Just learning. Yeah, starting a business and all those different pieces that go with that.
There is so much to it.
Yes.
Have you made any mistakes yet?
Every
Can you
day.
think of one?
Just, you don't learn. I mean, it's like the adage is true. You just don't learn until you try. So we make a mistake every single day still. Fortunately, it's nothing that's been, it's just like this would be more efficient if we used this ingredient, or if we bought this piece of equipment, or if we cut out this piece entirely. So we're just really refining our production process even.
And you can work together to bounce each other ideas off of each other. That's got to be
constantly,
huge,
all day.
Huge.
Yeah.
I am so thankful for that part of it. I honestly, being like a sole proprietor doing this on their own, it's like a constant state of questions. You're always wondering, well, what if we tried it like this? Or what if we did it this way? So it's so nice that we can have each other's opinions and we both get cooking and enjoy it and can kind of like envision what said change would bring. So
Do you think you'll expand at some point outside of pickle dip, maybe into other types of dips?
Yeah, we talk about it for sure. We don't know exactly what that next maybe product would be, but if we would stay in dips or do something that accompanies them, or we're open to it. We're just
So
always
you're not just stuck on
brainstorming.
pickles.
We're not stuck on only
pickles. We do,
But you like
we
pickled
love
things.
dips.
Yes, we do like pickled things.
Me
and
too.
The difference that it brought kind of to the marketplace and the the uniqueness of that point.
And the fermentation process, there's lots of things you can do with that I think fermentation is sort of on the beginning cusp of where that can go in more of a traditional realm outside of kimchi, obviously. I think people are getting more comfortable with fermentation and pickled foods.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I wish you guys great success. Britt and Sarah from Darling Pickle Dips, thanks for being here. You can find them. Again, their Instagram page is real cute. I don't know why I'm obsessed with it, but I kind of am. I think you do these funny little videos that just,
really
they're
like
kind
boomerangs.
of like, yeah. I'm terrible at boomerangs. So I think that's probably why I'm like, oh, they always do those great boomerangs. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.